adhere to the negative thoughts. That's how God made devils. And that's the living reality right there that you see. People throwing eggs and people throwing things because they adhere to the weaker gene in themselves. So they do devilish men because they cannot master the negative in them and deal with the positive in them and raise themselves up to be shown forth and proven the God in themselves or the righteousness in themselves. So that is how the devil is made, through a thought which became a reality. As it tells you, the Word was God and the Word became what? A living being. It became flesh. All these things is what we have to understand if we want to understand our lessons the way they really are. And then we also understand that that implies or comes back to you. Are you going to allow yourself to be a living manifestation of Allah, or are you going to submit to the negative that was brought out of you and became a living being? Or are you going to submit to that negativity in you and therefore live the life of the grafted seed, the grafted thought, which is devil? Take the D, you get evil. An evil being or an evil manifestation coming from you. All things came from you, but you must understand how you must master the negative in you, otherwise the negative in you will master you. It's either you are or you ain't. That's why it says, now you rise up and put an end to all that negativity that this world lives in. Because people don't understand the manifestation of who they really are. That struggle between positive and negative exists within every being. That positive and negative struggle, actually when you draw it up, you see whether you're going to be evil or one or the other. How did God make devil? How you allow yourself to do devilish men? How you draw yourself out of that? How you what? Build to be born, to be a righteous man in this day and time? It is upon you to master that devil. When it says, how long do you wish to see the devil take the devil into take the gods, take the devil into hell in the very near future? It says, yes, I fast and pray that I live. You say, I fast and pray in your name that you live to see the devil take the devil off of your planet. Your planet is your being. That which you live through. That idea you must take out of you because it was planted in you for a reason. Yesterday I was building with one of my sons and he said, why? Why did God make devil? Why did God do this? Why did God do this? And I started to explain it to him. That is a struggle that just by you saying why means you want to know what it's all about. And what it's all about is inside you. You have to master that wickedness inside you so that you can take the devil out of you. Yaqub took the devil out and brought it into manifestation so you could see it as a living being that was weak and wicked. Now in this day and time, you must look at the devil that you may have existing inside you. Some people say it's four devils: jealousy, envy, lust, greed. All of the negative expressions of wickedness. To overcome all that, we must rise ourselves out of that. It's not an easy thing to do, but you got to start somewhere. So we take ourselves and we start with one. One meaning you. So in order for you to teach anyone how to be righteous, you must first what? Be righteous yourself. In order for you to wake up anyone, you must first be awoken yourself so that you can guide others who are lost into the right way. But the only way you can guide anyone is that you had to be guided. You had to be guided to the right way of thinking, the right way of living. Therefore, when you go amongst those that are still not knowing this truth, they can see the example in you, and that is what causes the attraction power. By them seeing something in you that is unlike them, we know the sign unlike attract. So therefore, if you're a righteous being, and someone that is not a righteous being, that is unlike whatever you are, that will cause an attraction power. What Yahoo did was said, well, by seeing male and female having a intercourse or relation with each other, he saw that one was male and one was female, and there was an attraction power. He had the idea of saying, well, if I make something unlike the original people, there will be an attraction power between them. Yet I will teach them how to rule the alike by making the alike unknown to the knowledge of himself. Such what we call true knowledge. History that was brought up and brought about so that we could see it in this day and time. What we do is take the positive teaching and draw it up and show people how to make righteousness exist in this world by destroying the negativity. But like I said, it starts with self. Self is the living example. If one cannot clean oneself up, how can one clean anyone up? So we look at the Father. The Father was the one that came and he had magnetic power. Why did he have magnetic power? Because he had the righteousness within him, cleaned his own self up, and we was attracted to him because we were unlike him. And because unlike attracts, we attracted to him to become a-like him. And when A-like attract, that's only meaning that you see something in common with each other. A-like attraction means commonness with each other. Unlike attract just means something is different than something else. What we have to do, and that's why I say cipher, see, truth. The truth, the see means to understand. The cipher could be you. The cipher is a person, a place, or thing. So cipher, see the truth, means do you see the truth? See means to understand. Do you understand? Understand what that truth, the real how it goes through. You can say, I know my lessons all you want. But do you understand how to make those lessons understood so you can understand what this is going on all about? What's really going on out here? In order to be God, God got to manifest understanding. Can't just talk about it. Just can't say I be about it. You got to understand what you're talking about and what you be about. Otherwise, you yourself can be confused within what you say you already know. No. The truth is drawing it all up and not letting someone tell you what it is, but you figuring out what it is yourself. Because the understanding no man can give you, you got to give yourself. So you can know it, you can speak it, but the understanding, you got to open up your what? Own eyes to see. Then the cipher will see the truth because the cipher is you. You will see the truth. What is the truth? Because again, that truth is everything that's happening right here. We know there's a 25,000 year cycle. Within that 25,000 year cycle, all of this that is happening is predicted into 1 year of that 25,000 year cycle by scientists that were wise enough to predict all of this, and now we're living this out. So to understand that 25-year cycle, you have to understand the whole history, what it's all about, what it was about, what it is about, and what it's gonna be. And being that you say that you're the maker, then make it by understanding it and draw it up so it become a reality to you. Not just words, not just something that I speak about, something that I actually can see and understand and live. So if you start teaching someone and they start asking you questions, you won't get lost yourself. Because you'll understand it enough to be able to explain. It's like reading a book. When you read a book, you start on page 1, you get to the end, now you know the whole story. When a child comes up and you say, what was that book about? You could tell them what it was about because you read it from the first page to the last page, you understood the story. Well, what about the story of history? What about the story of this life that we live in? If you don't understand the story of what we live in, how can you explain it? When somebody comes to you and say, well, what about this and what about that? How can you explain it if you don't even understand it? So you get lost and start stuttering and say, why? Because you don't understand it. Cipher sees the truth. Cipher understanding the truth. You cipher. See I power. You the cipher that got to see that truth. So that when somebody asks you, well, what is this all about? You know what it's all about. Understand what it's all about, so therefore you can explain what it's all about. Because people are going to ask you questions. If somebody just sits down and accepts everything you say without asking any questions, that is a person that's easily led. They can be led in any direction because they have no thoughts of their own. They don't question one thing. That's like you talking to a robot. Robot, I said do this. Robot, it's like this. Robot, and the robot do it because the robot ain't got no mind. The robot is a machine. People can be machines. If they don't think and they don't have enough sense to question things and try to get a true understanding, they can be a robot or a machine. You yourself could be a robot or machine if you don't even try to figure out what the hell am I really talking about and what is it all about. Am I just accepting things because somebody told me that? Oh, I'm a believer? I thought we said we wasn't believers. I thought we said we were knowers. If you were a knower, you got to get past that believing. Believing means, well, I believe he went around the corner. I don't know if he went around the corner. I believe he went. That's why, because you don't really know. So we can't be believers. We got to be what? Knowers. And to be a knower means to draw it up and really get the full sense of what's happening out here. It's not a joke, you know? Like I said, I was building with one of my sons, his name was Saul Bush. He started asking me all kind of questions. He started asking me questions, why is this, why is that, how is this, what? He just asked me, we was up 12 o'clock at night, he just asked me all the questions, and I said, I'm glad. He said, I don't believe what anybody say, I just don't be going with it. I said, I'm not no fool, because somebody say this and somebody say that. You got to show and prove to me what's really going on and make some sense out of it. I said, well, that's a man that thinks. Because if a man don't think, he'll accept anything you say. So I'm saying, when you out here in this world and you talking to somebody and somebody just said, that's a fool. That's a person that's not thinking. And if you're the kind of person that just say, when the knowledge was brought to you, you didn't even think. You just said, You didn't even try to study and find out what the hell it's really about. Can the devil fool you? Can you be fooled? Or are you a person that takes things and science it up and let it make some reality to you? Because this is reality. The manifestation of Allah's mind is everything you see. And if you don't understand everything you see, or at least strive to understand everything you see, you're lost in the soul. That history is blind, deaf, and dumb to you. Because you ain't even took time to understand what the hell is going on around you, let alone where you fit in the story. You got a part in that story, you know. And the part that you say that you are who? Maker, owner, creed, father, God. You say all of that. So that's the part that you say you play in that story. Now, ask yourself one question. Are you really fulfilling that part, that story that you're talking about? Are you really fulfilling that part? Really understanding what it's all about? Because you're saying you're the best part of that whole story. You're saying that you're the foundation of that story. So if you're the foundation of that story, then you should know what it's all about. But if you're lost in that story, something is lacking in you. So I'm saying, not only can we just say we know this and we know that and point the finger at somebody else, we got to start looking at the man in the mirror and say, what about you? The woman gotta look in the mirror and say, what about you? Do you understand what it's all about? You're truly your own self? Or you just repeating something that you read on a piece of paper? Huh? If you just repeating something that you read on a piece of paper and you ain't even took time to understand what you're talking about off of that paper, then you need to do some deep study. Because God is not a mystery. God is a real being. As a matter of fact, God is the author of the story. God wrote the story. When they say them 23 scientists in the year, or elders in the year 1, those were gods that wrote the story. That God, those 23 scientists, really is you. That's why I say you got to take all things and draw it up to yourself. Those 23 scientists that predicted all of that to happen is you. When it starts talking about you gave the devil, the devil was given the power, God gave the power to him. You gave the power to the devil. It's talking about you. Bring it all up to this day and time. If it's not talking about you, then who's it talking about? It's talking about you. This is your story. This is your history. It's telling you what you did, what you allowed to happen, and what you want to do about it. Are you going to allow this to keep on happening, or are you going to make it right? It's all up to what? Y-O-U. You the maker. You make it happen. If you don't make it happen, it ain't going to happen. You sitting around talking about there's no mystery God, yet you say, oh, I don't understand how it's going to happen. That's because you don't realize that you got to make it happen. It's you that's going to make all that stuff happen. So that whole story is talking about you. It's not talking about, oh, this man and that man. Yeah, Yaku was a man. But yet he was a manifestation of an idea that was predicted in the year 1, that there would be a man that would bring this all about into reality. That devil was a manifestation of an idea from you to bring about that negativity. Why? So that you can show you your power. That you can wipe out that devil inside you. It became a reality when it came out as a living being. But now you have to master that negativity in you. That's why you saw somebody throwing an egg. That's why you see all this negativity out here. That's why you see all this drugs and violence and killing and all. People don't understand what the hell they're about. They're all falling victim to that negativity that exists within inside them. That weak journey, that weak idea. So they became what? Devils was inside their own self because they refused to draw themselves up and live a righteous way of life. Therefore, you have devils. Weak and wickedness. We here to try and straighten. We here to not try. We're here to make that, straighten that stuff out. Yaku, Allah was the man that started to make that straight, but before him there was many others. That strove. Allah just made it crystal clear for us to see. He was the seed that rose up and let it be seen, because it had to come back to the original man. That was the original man. Now we all say that we that seed. Well, until we start really mastering ourselves to be that seed, to knowledge and understand everything that's happening, to be the master of all of that we talk about, we have to be that same seed like Allah. And like I said, and I'm gonna let it go. Like I said, hey, it's not enough to just talk about it. It's not enough to just talk about it. I see many people talk about it and you look at their ways and actions and you say, truly? Because what they talking and what they doing is two different things. So it's not enough to just talk about it. It's not enough to just say, yeah, well, I know. And then when somebody asks you a question, you're lost in the source. So did you really know? Or you just said you knew? It's not enough to just say, well, I'm living this way and I'm living that way. Look, people out here living a good way of life. They're not knocking people over the head. They're not doing what. They're not robbing people per se. They're not doing this and they're not doing that. But they don't know any truth, not the real truth. They know what they've been told, and they accept it or they believe it. When we say we got the real truth, so really check it out. make sure that what you're talking about is real. Before you just automatically just say, hey, it is, and that's it. It is, and that's it. How you know? That's what they said. What do you say? Well, you become one of them. One of them people that just accept something because somebody said something. Study, man. Study. What that rap said? Study a lesson. Study those lessons. And intertwine those lessons with everything else in reality so you can grow up and make them understand. So the cipher can really see the truth. Not just talk about it, not just act about it, but really see the truth. Open your eyes so you can really see the truth. You open up your eyes and you really see the truth. That on the light will attract because they'll see that you are different than them. That magnetic will draw them right to you, and then when you open up your mouth, you got something to tell them that's worthwhile to tell them. Not just, just believe what I say, that's it. You know, there's brothers out here, man, that after they teach somebody, they still call that person their student. They teach somebody, the person done been in the knowledge 10, 15 years, oh, that's my student. So that student ain't never grew up to be God? Is it still your student? Some people just want to be over somebody all the time. They got to have somebody under them. No, once that man understands what's going on, he's his own man, he's your student. What you did was show him or her. Now they are what their own being. Stop trying to make people underneath you. You understand? Let a person what? Be free. Because we teach freedom. We don't teach slavery. We teach justice and we teach equality. We don't teach all of that old foolishness where we're going to try to step on somebody and keep them underneath our knees. Then that you're doing just what the devil do. You're making a slave. We're talking about freeing people out here. Just like you was made to be free or taught to be free, we teach people to be free. So that they themselves can see the truth. They, that cipher, them, can see the truth that we talk about. Today's understanding cipher. And that's why I'm building on understanding knowledge. That's why I'm saying the cipher see the truth, because we have to see the truth. Today's understanding knowledge. So understand that knowledge that I'm speaking about, so you can definitely be free. Pardon me. I see, I'm glad y'all brought that to me. I kept saying understanding cipher, but it's understanding knowledge. So that understanding had to be brought back to me, the knowledge, so that I could be free of that backward thoughts that I was thinking, that I was one day behind. Now I'm up to the present. But I understand the knowledge, talk about being what? Free. And that's what we do. We free each other. I thank y'all for freeing me and letting me see that I had to be right on point. Right away, that's right. Understand the knowledge. They call us Halloween Day. So watch out, because you see the mask that people wear. Some people choose to wear a mask that's good. Other people want to wear a mask that's evil. They walk around with horns and fangs. So it's a choice that you make. It's a choice of what you want to be in life. It's a choice whether you want to throw eggs at people and you don't even know what they're talking about. It's a choice whether you want to go out here and knock somebody over the head and steal from them because you're too lazy to go out and make something for yourself. It's a choice whether you want to destroy yourself or build yourself up. That's what I'm talking about. All of us have a choice. Either we're going to build ourselves or we're going to let ourselves be destroyed. And if you really understand what's going on, what this is all about, you should make the right choice. And with that, I'm going to say peace.
Babe. And you too, Brian, kid. So, my name is Lord Shaw, featured guest. Right? When I was inside, it was, can you hear me, Rashid?
Yes.
Peace. Yeah, I was hearing y'all from inside, so I hope they can hear us from the man also. First, I want to say this. Peace to Rashid for always being in our parliament. And one second. Being in our parliament and capturing what we do, right? Peace to everybody that's here. You know, peace to all the guards that's maintaining and making sure that here and abroad is being made, if they're doing the right thing. Right before we came here, right, myself and son guard, we was inside. So somebody came to us and said, hey, somebody threw an egg and it almost hit somebody in the yard. So, we ran, okay, let's find what's going on. So, well, it's two young brothers. Could be no more than 15, 13, 14. Some guard there. Step to them, let them know, listen, we don't do that, man. This is what we're doing here. I mean, we had understanding now. Understanding means to see, right? To comprehend. You have to see the now, right? Of course, be on the attack or counterattack, because okay, that's crazy. Like why would you do that? But then we see, okay, this is some new. Automatically, you process what you already remember when I was young. But the means on the contrary. When you get into, don't do that. And this is who we are. In fact, got one even better. If you run around not doing nothing, you come on in the yard so we can give you this knowledge. Right? I never put hands and feet on you. I do that mathematically. But in the 136, it says, then what happened, right? Inevitably, that lesson is dealing largely with how we came here. That particular part is talking about, after the famous people, no one will speak their language. Well, again, what happened, right? So, I do want to say, man, we changed the polarity of that. I mean, I'm going to come back to that briefly, but I just want to say that we here should never have to say, hey God, what were they talking about? Because the parliament starts at 2 o'clock. Right? We're supposed to be here, doing the knowledge. There's different ways of learning. This is just one way, speaking, but looking, listening. How you characteristically, your body language will let me know, what's going on, if it's communicating, if I'm interested or I'm not.